yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah, man. I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Welcome to episode 812 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports, for institutions large and small, from the NCAA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, along with my co-host, Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Mike Washington is out on assignment, getting things done, but we have none other than AD Drew in the house to bring it home for us this evening. We're filming from our home studios and sending a signal live to KCOH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, multi-Hall of Famer, Ralph Cooper, in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. With that being said, let's bring everybody on board. I do want to take a moment of personal privilege, and oftentimes we open our show and we have some tragic news that affects HBCU fans. This one is in terms of HBCU fan, but usually oftentimes it's athletes, and sometimes we go outside of that people that are connected. But this is for a friend of the show, colleague of the show, I really should say. But my deepest condolences goes to Wilton, and prayers for him, his family, and may the memories held deep within you, your heart, soothe you at this time. You're in my family and our HBCU Sports Lab family's prayers in terms of the loss that you are feeling at this time. So wanted to make sure we put that out there as we open the show. Our thoughts are with you, and we certainly will be strong with you. Be strong for your family at this time.
Absolutely.
On a much lighter note, much positive note, I want to say some congratulations, but before we do that, oftentimes we do sports and it's escape. And I don't know if escaping right now is the appropriate thing to do, but all of us are not blind and we see what's taking place. And so hopefully you find a way to do your part in what some would say maybe is a market correction in terms of the political landscape that we're living in, particularly for those that reside in the South, currently called, but formerly for those that know the Confederate States. And we see some Confederate state-like previous things going on in terms of politics and political ramifications of what's taking place, and how that affects people in different ways is going to be concerning. But certainly ask you to find the ways to do what's necessary to take care of yourself, move your family forward in that manner. With that being said, on the lighter note, there is joy out there for a lot of folks for graduation, folks that have been able to accomplish excitement. Some of them for high schools will be a little later, but college for those that we are know and knowledge in terms of this time. So wanted to acknowledge that. For those that graduated last week, some graduated this week, including Texas Southern University commencement ceremony, which will go on tomorrow morning. And then on Saturday, next week as well. So I want to say congratulations to all of those. that have successfully completed their degree attainments, and wish them the best as they move forward. Now back to some sports talk. With that being said, let me go to you, Charles. What's on your mind? I know a lot of people were buzzing with the HBCU Go. If you want to go a little bit there, we can pull up some of that stuff for the HBCU Go and maybe take a little bit of time and even get into this first segment and get everybody's little thoughts on this to see where you want to go. In terms of HBCU Go games, I'll ask you this. In terms of what you see here, this is a schedule breaking down by weeks. What one or two matchups has you most excited based on what's going to be aired by HBCU Go this 2026 football schedule? And then, Drew, I'll let you chime in and ask you the same question. So
they really do have some really good games, and I can stop in September. I mean, I think North Carolina Central and Texas Southern is intriguing. Tennessee State and Florida A&M, obviously, I think is two historic brands. That's intriguing. And then to kind of in September, Bethune-Cookman and South Carolina State. So anytime you get these, cross division or cross conference matchups, those are the ones that really jump out for me that I'm really kind of excited about. And then, that fervor is there in that first month of the season. So you're really excited to see some of these matchups.
Drew, let me go ahead and ask you your thoughts. Charles, so your biggest one you're looking at, I know you're excited and you say all of them kind of excite you. That's the, easy way out. But what stands out? Which one you going with? You got to pick some.
The defending Celebration Bowl champions, defending Black College National champions, taking on what could possibly be an upstart this upcoming season in Bethune-Cookman. So that one.
That's a little off the map. Good call. We're going off the map. I like that.
Yeah.
AD Drew, where are you going?
Well, probably going to upset a lot of Jackson State folk when I say this, but if you notice, it's a very FAMU heavy schedule that they have out this particular year, with the Rattlers appearing 4 times on HBCU Go, including 3 out of 4 weeks in the month of October. 3 of the 5 weeks in October, but I mean, I don't know what Curtis Simon's love with Florida A&M is, but we damn sure gonna take it. And it's kind of interesting. And when I look at these FAMU games, for a generation older than me, the FAMU Southern game is the game, that rivalry that they grew up on. For me, 90s baby at FAMU, the FAMU Tennessee State game is the one that I remember, classic times that I had in the city of Atlanta with the Atlanta Football Classic. And for the new generation, the FAMU Alabama State matchup is the matchup that probably intrigues them the most. So that's kind of a long-winded answer to get to it, but I love the schedule overall. I'm particularly interested in these FAMU matchups. I just hope that my Morehouse schedule time-wise does not conflict with any of these FAMU games, so that I can actually watch them.
I like it. Makes sense. FAMU just hit a big home run, so they stretched out their lead a little bit in this winners bracket game but among Texas Southern and FAMU. Big home run to right field gives FAMU a 3-1 lead over Texas Southern University as they continue in that matchup. We'll give you an update there throughout this game in terms of what it looks like. Right on cue is the home run went there in terms of what that looks like. Had some big matchups earlier today in terms of those key matchups, as you see. And again, FAMU does lead 3-1. It is the bottom of the 4th inning. The earlier matchup, Jackson State, Alabama State. Jackson State was in control of that game early, 5-1. Stretched it out a little bit, and then Alabama State was able to put up 9 runs in that matchup to come from behind. it's just something about that matchup between Alabama State and Jackson State that just brings out the best in the Hornets, it seems. As Hornets find a way to get it done. So that's pretty big in terms of that. Some other news you see there, we'll get in there in terms of the news there, and that's that 10-5 in terms of them being able to put up 9 runs as they were down 5-1 in that late inning. So tough matchup for Jackson State. But kudos to the Hornets fighting out of that losing bracket to get it done as you continue to see a little bit of rain and rain delays. So you see what is taking place there in terms of that matchup. As you go to the MEAC, Howard, number 1 seed, did what they're supposed to do in terms of getting a victory there, 11-2 over Morgan State. And then Morgan State, in terms of that matchup, they have Morgan State defeating Norfolk State, those 6-3 in terms of that. So just want to give you a couple of updates in terms of what's going on there. South Carolina State 8-0, that's a good one. Coppin State. Then the rains came, and so they postponed some of those games and have to push them back. You see that 6-3 I was telling you about Morgan State as they were trying to push some of those games in. And will look like they may have to finish on Sunday as they push those games back. With that being said, classic game last night for those that stayed up. Looks like Charles and they was up a little late, looking a little tired, trying to be entertained by that matchup.
The game watched me at the end.
I
think I fell asleep in the 10th inning, Dr.
Yeah, I laid it down and got up and checked out the final. Man, you're talking about a heck of a game. You go back and forth. FAMU pulls it out 5-4 as Southern goes up where they go in the extra innings, put runners on and do what they got to do. Southern gets one in, and then FAMU comes down in the bottom. Just before it looks like maybe they're going to go out, they get a play at first where the ball was dropped, giving them life. Instead of 2 outs, it's 1 out. Big hit, puts the runner on third, and first is able to score. So they tie up the game, and then they get the big walk-off to win 5-4. Southern did rebound this morning as well. As they go to elimination, they'll play tonight in terms of seeing if they can do the double-double to stay alive. But fascinating baseball going on in the SWAC down there. So I wanted to give a little shout-out there. I did want to get into a little news. I thought that was big by A&T. When you look at J.R. Smith, as he has finished his goals, probably heard about this about a year ago when he was talking about he was going back to A&T to finish his degree. That is mission accomplished. Set to graduate this spring. Interview that he gave talking about quotes he made in terms of how it really was important for him in terms of where he was in life. So kudos to A&T, kudos to J.R. Smith, one, going back and finishing a degree, and certainly choosing A&T and saying that's the place where he wanted to be and gain his education for his degree. So I wanted to give him a little bit of shout out in terms of J.R. Smith representing for HBCUs as he earns a Bachelor's of Arts in Liberal Studies Applied Cultural Thought in terms of his work there. Any final thought that you want to give out on the HBCU Go football? I'll start with you, AD Drew, and then Charles to see if any additional thoughts that you want to share or some other news that you want to put out there before we go to break. Starting with you, Drew.
Starting with me. No, I think I'm done with the HBCU Go, but I do want to talk about an article that came from HBCU Game Day.
Okay.
And this is as somebody who deals with marketing and scheduling and everything else around that. I mean, marketing genius. Norfolk State with their plea for a home game. And then
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Let me set it up before I talk about the double down portion of it.
Right.
HBCU schedules are months away from tip off, but Norfolk State coach Robert Jones is already putting out the call for Division I opponent. Jones took to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that machine, in with the direct pitch to build a schedule. Quote, need some home games versus Division One opponents next year, Jones wrote. We'll start a home and home series and give you up to 10K to start at my place. Who's willing to come to Eccles, Division One? Now, this is where it really gets fun for somebody like me. Tiffany Dawn Sykes piggybacked off of it and issued her own challenge. If it's a D1 HBCU and you go to Norfolk State for this game, I will pay you 20K to play VSU on the front end or the back end. So, I just love the gamesmanship. I love where this is going. And as somebody who does athletic marketing, I could have done this no better, man. I'll just leave it right there.
Charles, what about yourself?
Yeah, let me just give a shout out to Charles Edmonds. We see him on our network every Saturday morning on the Carlos Brown Show, but he's doing a heck of a job, play-by-play voice down there at the softball tournament. And as somebody who called a doubleheader this past Sunday, I just going from game to game to game to game to game. Shout out to the Iron Lung himself, Charles Edmonds. So.
Good stuff. Well, let's take our first break. We'll come on the other side. We'll be right back after this first break.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131. Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisine.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
What up, y'all? This is Dante Horn. Starting guard for the Prairie View A&M 25-26 SWAC Basketball Champions. As an MVP and a champion, when I'm not studying, practicing, or hanging with family and friends, I take the time out to catch up on my HBCU highlights by watching Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Horn, pump fake, steps into the two-point jump shot. That is fundamental.
Yeah, you got to stay on your feet on him.
were not picked to win their respective conferences.
Prairie View produces productive people. Prairie View, where champions are built. Not like me. PV, you know.
Press the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Charles, Bishop, and A.D. Drew. Just wanted to remind Brian, as he gets a little excited about the softball and not going so well, that's the other side of it, still having a little fun myself. So I want to make sure he remember what took place in basketball. With that being said, let's pull up the mid-major poll rankings in week number 8. Let's get in here and see what we got. Nobody dropped out in terms of the mid-major rankings in week number 8. We did have a couple of folks receiving votes, a couple of teams here. That's the Benedict Tigers sit at 23-16, 19-14. Morehouse Maroon Tigers is outside of the top 5 at 24-22, 17-14. Boy, did both of those teams have tremendous runs in the tournament. So I wanted to shout them out. Stillman Tigers, 24-18, 14-6 with 29 points.
Dr. Cavil.
Yes.
Take one of those losses and put it in the win column for Morehouse. It was
25-21. Yes. Let's get it right.
I got to correct that one.
Especially with that 25 mark. That's a nice
record breaking.
I was about to say, is that record
most wins in Morehouse history?
Wow,
that's
big. You need to make sure you point that out.
Yeah.
Like I said, they had a hell of a run in the tournament. Even got me a little bit excited, particularly with that walk-off victory as they were come from behind to get that done with the freshman on the mound, putting in some closing minute pitches, if you would, as well as the batter coming up there and getting it done. It's got to be big time for a freshman to be able to living right. Let's look at the top 5 as we move forward. Savannah State Tigers, they stay in the top 5. They do slide a spot, 27-20, 23-10. One first place. Well, it should be no first place votes. They lost that as they slid down. But at number 4, we have Albany State Golden Rams. They sit at 31-18, 27-6, 40 points. They slide 2 spots. Even with 30 wins, a lot of folks above this, you're going to see not just 25 wins, which is certainly strong, but you think about in basketball, 20 wins. In baseball, you get to the 30-win mark, you've had a pretty special season. Bringing us to number 3, which is Houston Tillerson Rams, 33-18, 18-3, 44 points. They move up 2 spots from 5. And the only problem they had essentially is they're in the same conference with Talladega Tornadoes. Fortunate for them, they don't play in the same division, so they did win the division. But they played well and got to them literally in the championship game this year, which is what we wanted to see. But Talladega made a statement. We'll see what that means for them as we move to number 2. Everwater Tigers go off in the tournament, get it done, pick up several wins, and finish at 33-19, 24-9. 3 first place votes, 45 points, move up from 3, move up a spot after winning a championship, leaving us at number 1, Talladega Tornadoes, 32-17, 19-2. 4 first place votes, 62 points. They move up, and they actually remain at number 1 this week after winning the tournament last week in the HBCU AC, just like Edward Waters. Tigers won the tournament at the SIEC. For those that are new to this, that's Edward Waters out of the Division II NCAA, Talladega out of the NIA. Both of them will receive tournaments. First time for Edward Waters since moving up. A.D. Drew shared this with me. You probably recall they did win the SIEC before, but at that time they were still in their transition year. Probation is what the NCAA uses. So Talladega is going back to the tournament as they continue to shine and get it done. But with that being said, Charles, what are your thoughts in terms of the top 5 this week?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the top 5, Edward Waters is right there by Talladega, but the familiar faces, in terms of taking a look at Talladega, Edward Waters,
Houston Tillis and Albany State right there. I did want to pivot and ask AD about Morehouse. I mean, with the historic season and just really looking at all the talent that's in and around the Atlanta area, how sustainable is it for Morehouse to continue this upward trajectory for the baseball team?
It's very sustainable. We've got a couple on deck already that have signed that are to be coming to Morehouse, which should help fill in a couple of the holes that we do have right now. The young kid, the one that you were talking about, Dr. Cavil, Trip Braswell, the kid who got the save. I don't know if you realize this, Dr. Cavil. He got in game one of the doubleheader during that of the tournament that day, and got the save in the last game. As a freshman, so for him to come in and relief to pick up a win and a save on the same day, well, technically not the same day because the game didn't end after midnight, but you guys understand what I'm talking about. Yes. I think that's great. Freshman pitcher Cam Simmons, who started the game against Spring Hill, on 2 days rest, it is another up and comer, great two-way player. His bat is as good as his arm, but his arm is better for us, if that makes sense. But we've got a lot of talent coming in, and for some reason, give all props to Coach Antonio Grissom. Once he gets those kids to Morehouse, they do not leave for baseball to go play baseball somewhere else.
That's big. I can see that. What's interesting to me, to your point, Andrew, I saw that and was thinking about that, and first thing that comes out, will he transfer? I said, well, obviously a lot of students go to Morehouse not just to play baseball. That's right with secondary, right? They go for the prestige, the academic opportunity. And even if you wanted to do that at another private school, unfortunately, the only private school that is playing baseball at the Division I level is Bethune-Cookman.
Right.
So you don't even have a lot of choices that you do it. Yeah. So great point in terms you were making there, Drew. That put some more context of why that may be the case.
And one other name that you guys noticed from the tournament, R.J. Robinson, the kid who hit the 4 home runs during the tournament, and I don't think one of those home runs still has not landed.
Right, we're still like
another example
in McGregor Park you were talking about.
Yeah, another example of a kid who could have played baseball anywhere else, but he decided he wanted to come to Morehouse to play baseball. He had the talent to play baseball anywhere else, but he was more focused on making sure he got his academics at that level. But I gotta put these two comments on this poll before I get jump off of here. I think Charles got something to say before I say something about this poll.
No, I mean, I'm curious about, especially with regards to Morehouse in sports. I mean, can it take on the look of what we see on the Division I level with Stanford, where they continuously they're in the mix, year in, year out. When you take a look at just athletics as a whole, but just the aura of going to Morehouse and continuing to play sport.
Without taking you too far behind the curtain and give you some of the rules, that's part of A.D. Ellis's vision. There's no reason Morehouse cannot be like Duke in basketball, like Vanderbilt in baseball, like Stanford, like some of these other great academic institutions who also excel in athletics. That has been his vision, and the proof is in the pudding this year, and the results are starting to show after his leadership for 3 years. Let's put this in perspective. Morehouse only offers 7 sports, right? On the Division II level, 4 conference championships, 3rd place in golf, 3rd place in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 of the 7.
Yeah.
The only thing we gotta do is get football up there, and we are at that level, Charles. So, but just quickly on this poll, Dr. Bill, put that back up. Boom. Edward Waters should be number 1. No disrespect to Talladega with their victory in the HBCU AC, but Edward Waters beat not once but twice a nationally ranked Spring Hill in the tournament when it count. 1-0 in the first game, 6-4 in the championship game. That should be enough to vault them to the number 1 spot. And I'm strongly considering flip-flopping Savannah and Albany based upon what Albany did in the tournament. Great regular season, late in the tournament. But I got to bring this back to Morehouse. Just to put it out there. Took 2 or 3 against Edward Waters. Yes. And took a game against Albany State and Savannah State. So we got our dubs against your top 5, Dr. Cavil.
Oh, that's big. That's how you get
Albany State being the all charcoal team. Yeah.
Yeah, because they had the lighter fluid and it imploded on them.
2 in barbecue.
2 in Q.
Charles, final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I can flip Albany State out with Savannah State. I don't have a problem with that. Like I said, when you're a charcoal All-American,
what about Edward Waters to the top?
It hurts.
What about Edward Waters to the top, Chuck?
Yeah. Okay. You know what? The 2 wins over Spring Hill. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good call. Good discussion. Let's take our next break and we'll come back on the other side. This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavil of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app. As we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
I'm Cameron Peters, quarterback of the Prairie View A&M 2025-2026 SWAC Football Championship team.
Here on 2nd and goal, Peters looking for some space and he runs into the end zone. The first score of the game goes to the Panthers.
As the offensive MVP and champion, when I'm not busy studying or practicing or spending time with my family and friends, I catch up on my sports highlights by watching Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Horn, pump fake, steps into the two-point jump shot. That is fundamental.
Yeah, you got to stay on your feet on him.
He's looking for some space and he runs into the end zone. The first score of the game.
Two teams that were not picked to win their respective conferences.
Prairie View produces productive people. Prairie View, where champions are built. Not like me. PV, you know.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Hey Charles, do you see the purple in the logo there?
I did. I'm texting Travis now, making sure we get these commercials set up for media day.
Hey man, I'm gonna put this to work. Your boy working over here. That's for Brian. I just want to give Brian. As he feeling better now. He was early first inning. I was like, Brian, this is the first inning. You can't argue balls and strike. FAMU is leading 3-1 as Texas Southern is down to the last 2 outs. It's 1 out in the top of the 7th. So FAMU as they looked to clinch a spot in the championship game with the victory here. Should be fascinating to see. That's right, 80 Drew. Put it out there. Bragging on the.
I like our chances as Jackson State out of it.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'd be a little nervous. Southern's still in it. I would say Drew Jackson State. Now I would even be worse. It was Jackson State Southern. I think if I'm Southern, you probably have something you feel about that just because of the rivalry game. But since Jackson out, I think Southern is like, hey, we sneak around and get it done tonight.
I'm hoping Coach P go ahead and take it out, take Southern on up out of there tonight. That quietly, that's the other team that I'm rooting for.
I get you. Some good matchups though. Shout out to SWAC TV, the SWAC, and the teams playing. All 8 teams certainly were deserving as they got in, but it has been an enjoyable tournament. And shout out to the Rattlers as I give Brian the time of his life. But credit to AD Drew in terms of work he's putting out there.
You do realize 7 of the 8 teams in the softball tournament or in the baseball tournament also.
Yeah, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. Yeah. It tells you some folks know what they're doing on that side of it for sure. With the only one not being in there is Prairie View. So let me give a shout out to Kelvin too. He's a good friend of ours on the show. I like his fandom as well. So I make sure that he's acknowledged, not being missed out. Good job on the ONG strike zone. With that being said, let's get back to the business and look at the top 5, as we do have a team dropping out. Top 5 this week. Texas Southern Tigers, 20-19, 15-9. A tough weekend for them. At home against Alabama State, could not find a way to get at least one of those wins. Alabama State comes to Houston and sweeps. That is not often done in these parts, particularly this season for Texas Southern as they've been playing some good baseball. But just to let you know how rough it is in the SWAC, literally, particularly in the sport of baseball, as we're seeing in softball in the tournament as well. But let's look at the teams receiving votes. In terms of receiving votes, you got Texas Southern just outside of the top 5, 20-19, 15-9, 62 points. Right behind them, Norfolk State Spartans out of the NEC, MEAC program that plays baseball there, 18-25 or 14-13, as they have a winning record in conference play in the NEC. That's one of the first times this late in the season, so I want to give them credit there. Then UAPB Golden Lions, 19-29, 13-11. They've kind of struggled a little bit of late, but were able to get a victory as well. When we talk about that, let's look at the top 5 and see what this looks like. Update here. Texas Southern's down to their last out. FAMU is feeling good right now. Smiling, Brian. Smiling, Brian. 3-1. See, that's why I talk about don't worry about the balls and strikes. Just hit the ball. Play some baseball. Play some softball. You'll be all right. Well, let me not talk about FAMU's baseball right now. At number 5, Grambling State Tigers, 21-22, 16-8, 69 points. They are in the 5th spot in terms of what they look there. As we move to number 4 in the rankings is Florida A&M, the Rally sit at 21-22, 16-8. Grambling Tigers are actually in the 5th spot, 19-26, corrected there, as they were 5. Getting us to number 3, however, is Alabama State Hornets, the team that came and swept in Houston. They were not ranked, but they jump into the poll and they move all the way to number 3, 26-19, 16-8. As you see the 3-way tie between the Hornets, the Rattlers, and the Tigers of Grambling State. With 78 points, you see Alabama State Hornets getting it done. And number 2, Southern Jaguars. Some people would argue the hottest team in the SWAC. They move up 2 spots, 24-21, 17-7, 79-4.
Before you get to number one,
number one, which is the Bethune-Cookman. What'd you say before I do number one?
Before you do number one, Texas Southern just hit a solo home run to make it 3-2 in the top of the 7th.
Good call. Way to make it interesting. I like that drama.
A little fight.
Man, hold on, Brian. Hold on. Them pesky Tigers. 33-15 and 19-5 of Bethune-Cookman. Certainly, if not for the Jaguars, certainly the hottest team in terms of what they've been able to do in conference and out of conference. They have all 9 first-place votes, 90 points, and remain number one, unanimous number one for the second consecutive week in week number 8. Charles, what are your thoughts on the top 5 as we have drama in the SWAC baseball tournament? 3-2. We got an eye on that, but Charles,
2 outs. 3-2 with 2 outs.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at the top 5, these are the best teams, I believe, playing baseball right now, especially when you take a look at Bethune-Cookman and Southern. I mean, Southern is looking like the old Southern, especially KJ White putting the ball in play and just what they're able to do to you on the base paths. I mean, you know Southern is going to use that speed to their advantage, and they have really taken off, I believe, over the last, 4 series, Eddie? In terms of
4 consecutive.
Yeah, 4 consecutive series. But I tell you what, Alabama State put on a heck of a show this past weekend. Jackson Williams and Trey Calloway put on a power display. They're 1-2 in the SWAC in home runs. And then you had some really good pitching matchups when you take a look at what Alabama State was able to do. James Peterson, heck of a pitcher. He drops down from the side, gave Texas Southern fits this past weekend. Boy, another pitcher for Alabama State. Really did a yeoman job on the mound. So really kind of excited to see what they're doing coming down the stretch, and we'll see what the matchups, how they kind of play out over the next couple of weeks going into the tournament.
Good call. Who hit the moonshot that you?
Trey Calloway. Oh God, yeah, Trey Calloway. Nobody moved.
That's hilarious. What you talking about that? Eddie, you go ahead and give us your thoughts on the top 5 while you try to have one eye over there.
Yeah, you saw it too, huh?
Yeah, so
run
on first. She looks a little slow. Do you pinch run for her?
Yeah, kind of tough for me to concentrate right now, Dr. Cavil, but I'm gonna do my best.
They pitch run. You got a little time. They pitch run. You
okay? Good. Look, right now, I mean, Bethune-Cookman, take them out of the argument. Okay, right now they are the class of the SWAC, all the non-conference victories, all the glitz, all the glamour. Shout out to Johnny Hernandez, who's doing a tremendous job down there in Daytona. I can't even call them the school on the beach anymore. They have earned their name to be Bethune-Cookman University. Now let's get to the rest of it.
Good job.
It's interesting, Dr. Cavil, when you look at your top 5, and Charles, I know he's a pitching guy. When you look at teams number 2, 3, and 4 behind Bethune-Cookman in pitching, well, those are your next 3 on the poll. With Alabama State being number 2 in ERA, Florida A&M being number 3, and Southern being number 4 in ERA. So maybe something is equating to that, because the teams that who can slug the crap out the ball aren't necessarily reflected in this poll, Dr. Cavil. So, which brings it up. When the tournament comes, will the bats stay hot for these teams? Or will the arms take over? And you know, tournament time is always an arms race. Who's going to have that starter who you're not projecting to be able to give you 8 in a game to keep you alive, especially if you wind up in the Florida A&M wins, fly out to right field, especially if you wind up in the losers bracket. Or can you truly put together a bullpen session where you got guys who throwing between 20 and 30 pitches, so you're able to conserve them and bring them back, if not the next day, the day after. So those are the type of things that I want to see. All these, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure anybody else could do this besides Bethune-Cookman and everybody. I'm just being real. Bethune-Cookman has showed it to me. We've seen the bullpen sessions with the midweek wins. We know what they 1, 2, and 3 do on the weekends. Nobody else has shown it to me outside of them. So I'm really gonna be interested to see that. Go ahead, Charles. You got something to say?
I'm gonna throw this out there. Jaden Lopez and Derek Arocha for Jackson State, they lead the SWAC in strikeouts. Anything can happen once we get to the tournament. So I'm just keeping an eye in regards to their starting pitching. Bullpen wise, things can go sideways, but that's very interesting to me when you have guys like Justin Mays for Texas Southern, guys who are big swing and miss guys, and how they can kind of carry you once you get into a tournament setting.
Yeah. Can I
comment that, Charles? To your point, Charles, I want to see how these teams that go into the tournament, how are they playing the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Right. I think Bethune-Cookman has showed that they've been the most consistent. They've been there before. I know Drew's going to bring some of this up. And they certainly have shown that they have the depth with the arms. But as we saw a couple of years ago with Grambling, that had a player that just went nuts in the tournament. And he just had clutch hit after clutch hit after clutch hit. Every time he was like, he can't do it again. And I will live and will remember this when Deuce's old and in college, for that matter, when his look on his face and his seriousness, he's like, don't pitch to him. And then literally, right after he said it, they pitched to him, he hit it. He said, I told you, It was the funniest thing. And both of y'all have experienced it because you've been around Deuce, and I appreciate you sharing opportunities for him to do his craft that he's working on now in terms of interviewing coaches and things of that nature. So for us, it's just entertaining and it's hilarious because he's serious, and you get taken back from some of his questions he asked you. Like, man, that's pretty good. Even some of the coaches have said that, which tickles me to death. But being up there and hearing them say that, you're just like, yeah, you're right. Don't pitch to it again. Go ahead.
I got one thing, and this is something that I've noticed come tournament time, both softball and baseball. Will we see the umpires? How would the umpire strike zones be for these pitchers?
Yeah, that's another.
Will they squeeze the corner? Will they shrink the strike zone high and low? Yep. Or and it's always about who makes the adjustment first. Is the pitcher able to make the adjustment to where the umpire's calling the strikes, or let's flip that? If the umpire goes an inch or two off the plate, is the batter able to make the adjustment and get their back head around on the inside pitch, or go out and foul off that outside pitch while they wait on their pitch to hit? So that's also another dynamic that I love when it comes tournament time. So
good stuff. Great call by both of you. Let's take our last break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll talk about some of the matchups since we're talking about this Saturday. See your thoughts on that. And then a little thing happened today. They had the basketball announcement approval of what the 76 field would look like. You might get a chance to squeeze that in there and get a quick thought or two. Let's take our last break. We'll come back on the other side and we'll do just that.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
And we have to fund our kids in these colleges, and we have to make sure our kids have seats in these colleges.
And what about HBCUs? You mentioned.
Absolutely. You got to fund them all, and you got to make sure they're properly funded. You know, the real reason why I went after Comcast and Charter, it didn't have anything to do with my cable networks. It didn't. What happened was a gentleman wanted to do the Black College Sports Network in partnership with the HBCUs. And Comcast did not accept it. And that would have made a lot of money for these black colleges.
Absolutely.
And it would have educated the Black College Sports Network. This is what he wanted to do. That would have educated a lot of black kids. And when they didn't do that, that's when I came off the bench and said, okay, I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree. Okay. That was the real reason why I got into it, was when I saw what happened with the Black College Sports Network, which I don't own. I just knew.
Why did you buy it?
I just knew. I just knew that these black.
I like that talk.
All right. I knew that these black colleges were going to benefit, and these black kids were going to get the education that they deserved and not have to pay.
There's a shot.
That might be.
It could be. Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do, and all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want a law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab. The next game will be Southern and Alabama State. That should be a fascinating one, with both teams playing their second game of the day and looking to survive, to stay alive. So it'll be fascinating to see how that goes down. Again, kudos to FAMU moving to the championship game. Texas Southern is still alive because they made it to that game undefeated. So they will battle off tomorrow to see if they can get back for a rematch. We'll see what that looks like. But on to some baseball this weekend. We start matchups on Thursday, if you would, with some key matchups here. On Thursday with FAMU and Alabama A&M with the game on Thursday in Huntsville. Then we have our traditional Friday matchups, which includes Grambling State at Pine Bluff, Jackson and Mississippi Valley, Bethune-Cookman at Alabama State, Prairie View at Alcorn, Texas Southern at Southern. I think you all talked a little bit about the games that would stand out to you, but I want to go a little bit more deep into the numbers in terms of the games that you looked at. Talk a little bit, Charles, if you would, about this Texas Southern matchup. What should people look at in terms of that particular game when you look at the Tigers and the Jaguars facing off?
Yeah, I think what has stuck out for me, especially with Texas Southern, is Friday, Saturday. They've had some rough outings in terms of Prieto and Pena, Joshua Prieto, Joshua Pena for Texas Southern the past couple of weeks, and it's kind of been Justin Mays kind of holding up his end on the Sunday starter. So it's going to be imperative, I think, for Texas Southern to try to get off on a good foot in terms of the Friday matchup versus Southern, which I think is going to be pretty difficult. And then I think overall the lineup probably just hasn't been hitting the ball as well over the past a few weeks. You saw opportunities against Alabama State where they just didn't come through when they had runners in scoring position. So actually getting those, they've been able to get runners on, but actually getting them in has been a bit of an issue, especially at crucial times. So those are a couple things that I'm looking at with regards to Southern. If they can kind of slow down Southern's base stealing, they have a couple pretty good catchers in terms of Miguel Morales and I'm losing the name of the other gentleman, but they have really good pop-up times in terms of getting the ball down to second. So really just kind of slowing Southern down on the base paths. I mean, that's a huge thing in terms of playing good defense, because a Southern offensive team is always going to put a lot of pressure on you in terms of what they are able to do with all those athletes up and down the lineup. So it's going to be a fascinating matchup, and I'm really looking to see if Texas Southern's pitching can kind of come through over the weekend.
I think it's going to be crucial to see what they can get done. We know they can hit the ball, but Southern is really hitting the ball well.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be able to slow that down to some degree if you're going to give yourself a chance. AD Drew, I want you to look at this particular matchup, that Bethune-Cookman and Alabama State. I remember last year that it was in Daytona, and I bragged about these games because each game went not only with like 1 point. I think the third game ended up being like 2 points, but it was 1 point until a late home run in that matchup in the third game. But all of them were close. Games didn't stretch out more than 2-3 runs, and somebody would answer back. Now, Bethune-Cookman did get it done. But this year, Alabama State is coming in hot. Bethune-Cookman is on the road. They got a 2-game lead, but they hadn't swept anybody all year long. So, obviously, they take the series in a heartbeat. But as things close, what are your thoughts in terms of this matchup and some of the key players to look at in terms of this game coming up?
Well, you talk about an Alabama State team who's won 6 consecutive in conference, Dr. Cavil, which is huge, whereas Bethune-Cookman has come back to the pack ever so slightly in the within the SWAC race. But Dr. Cavil, when you look at with these two, you gotta go to pitching. So your probable Friday starters, Sanchez and Peterson, 1-2 in the conference in ERA. So who gets that leg up to open the series, Dr. Cavil? I think that's going to be that's gonna set the tone for this series. Alabama State with 2 of the top 10 in the conference in ERA. So, and Bethune-Cookman also. Let me back that up. Both these teams have 2 people in the top 5 when it comes to team ERA. What does that mean? What does that say to me, Dr. Cavil? What does that say to me, Charles?
Yes.
Can they keep it clean? What I mean by keep it clean, no E's, no HBPs.
Yeah.
Limit the walks.
Yeah.
One of these guys is going to be able to do that, because on paper, you're looking at some 1-0, 3-2 type ball games. And just as I say that, we'll be looking at football scores when we look at this on Friday and Saturday, just because I said it like that. But it's intriguing. Nobody's gonna sweep. If we get a sweep out of this, I would be pleasantly surprised. But I wasn't expecting Grambling to go down and sweep Florida A&M either. I would have said the same thing. Nobody was going to sweep that series. So
right.
Speaking of we do have a final from Huntsville. Florida A&M did knock off Alabama A&M today 9-8.
Oh man, closer than we'd have thought. Got the win, but they giving up some runs.
But I was going to speak on the Grambling UAPB. Grambling, one of the hottest teams in the SWAC right now. I think they've won 8 of 9 in conference or something like that. Whereas UAPB is the exact opposite. I think they've lost 4 of 6. So that's another one I want to look at. Can UAPB get off the schneid, because they are right behind that big pack of those 3 that are tied at, I think it's 16-8 is what they're tied at.
That's correct.
UAPB is a team that is like 2 off the pace from them. So just
Yep.
interesting to see.
One back.
Is it one back?
13-11. Three back.
Three back. Oh, okay.
But still, they're right there. But the ones that you're talking about as one back would be Texas Southern at 15-9.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like I say, can they get off the schneid and get in there and possibly muck up the standards a little bit?
No, that's exactly right. Charles, easy one for you, but I gotta ask just because it's the job we do. Is Jackson State gonna have a problem with getting at least one against Valley?
No. I think Jackson State should be able to go in this weekend at a minimum, take 2 of 3. I think they have the pitching has gotten tremendous over the past few weeks. And like I mentioned the 2 Jackson State starters who are lead the SWAC in strikeouts, and then TK Davis might be an even better pitcher than both of them. So that'll be kind of interesting to take a look at. Doc, to your point, you mentioned that Florida A&M, Alabama A&M score was a lot closer than it should be. Florida A&M 5 errors. That threw me off when we were talking.
That's another thing they have been.
I just mentioned
they had a little error bug going on right now. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating to kind of see how they do down the stretch. Not used to playing this type of ball for FAMU. Yes.
Question. With Jackson State playing Valley and Pine Bluff playing Grambling, could we see Jackson State and Pine Bluff flip-flop this week?
Yes.
That's very possible. Yeah.
Very possible. Yeah. Especially if Jackson gets all 3. It'd be tough on them to do it, but it's doable to mess around and get 3. Because once Jackson gets going, particularly hitting that ball, they seem to even pitch a little better when they just hit the ball like that. So and Valley has struggled of late now. This is not the Valley we saw at the beginning of the year when they deservedly got a little more credit in terms of how we look at them, because they were playing some close games and getting some victories. They've kind of slid off that pace, precipitously of late. So I could see Jackson getting 3 and Pine Bluff maybe only getting one of their 3 in the series, and you're like, ooh, Jackson is rising, which is going to be upsetting to me because it's going to flip the brackets. And, I just was loving, particularly after AD came up with a great marketing slogan in terms of we're going to let them bet out in the East and the West and see the best of the rest. In terms of that slogan you were breaking down there. Right now, the brackets would have an all-Eastern block of teams, 4 teams, and an all-Western block. Currently, you would have a BC versus 8 JSU, FAMU versus ASU, that's Alabama State 4-5, and then in the other bracket you would have Southern versus Pine Bluff 2-7, and the Grambling versus Texas Southern at 3-6. 2 weeks left, so probably a lot of changes, but we can keep hope alive.
But here's the thing, Dr. Cavil, the schedule guides are on your side because Pine Bluff and Jackson State play the last weekend of the season.
Yeah, I'll take that. I need it. Let's pull up a graphic in terms of what the new field of 76 is supposed to look like.
Here's the details on it, Dr. Cavil. I found this one after we went on the air.
Yes, 76 total teams. The 8 additional teams are at large sections. The 12 lowest seed automatic qualifiers and the 12 lowest seeded at large teams play in opening rounds, previously known as first 4, so they are going back to the opening round terminology. 12 games with 6 at-large and 6 automatic qualifier games. Each will be played at triple headers on Tuesday and Wednesday. So they're going to triple headers. The 12 teams advancing from the games would join the other 52 teams in a round of 64. 6 of the games played on Tuesday and Wednesday will continue to be played in Dayton, while the other 6 games will be played on Tuesday and Wednesday at a yet-to-be-determined site. So pretty much what I thought in that. Fascinating. Here's a glimpse of this huge monstrosity for some people. But you see the 16 versus 16, and you see that for each bracket now. So basically the way you think about it, when you had 68, you had 4 16 seed in there, 2 games. You had 2 12 seeds that play the game and 2 11 seeds. So double it up. Now you're going to have all 16 seeds. You're going to have 2 games that feature 12 seeds and 2 games that features 11 seeds. Essentially what I was telling folks, if you want to think about this though, essentially in the old bracket, when you had 4 16 seeds, 4 15 seeds, now all of your 15 seeds are essentially going to be squeezed into the 16 seed.
Yeah.
All your 14 seeds will slide to 15 seeds. So for those folks that's talking about getting out of that 16 seeds, you literally in the past where you would be maybe a 13 seed, you would need to be at a minimum of 14 seed to find your way out of a 16 seed game in terms of whatever a 14 seed rating or wins loss looks like. So Charles, I'll let you take it away. It guarantees in terms of open round games where you can play for additional unit. I didn't see that in there, but we got to check and verify that. I hope that can go away. But
Vegas playground. Yeah, more teams to play with, but I don't know. I guess it just opens it up to, a lot more, teams who finish, 10th, 11th, and 12th in the Big Ten and SEC to to make an argument, I suppose. So,
that's it. 8 additional teams, all 15 seeds in the previous field of 64 have become 16 seeds. All 14 seeds in the previous field of 64 has become 15 seeds. All 13 seeds in the previous field of 64 have become 14 seeds. And all 12 seeds in the previous field of 64 have become 13 seeds. And then obviously you break it up with the 12 and 11 seeds. AD Drew, what are your thoughts?
I don't know what to think about this. And the thing is, if y'all remember, I proposed this about a month or 2 before it actually came out on one of our Sunday shows. Although I said 80 was a number, but they went with 76. Here's a question that I have though, Dr. Cavil.
Yes.
Can we get back invited back to the NIT now? Since y'all to open up more spots for in the NIT? Can we get our spots back in the NIT? Or you still gonna have a 15 and 20 SEC team in the NIT? I'm just saying,
I wouldn't be surprised if the NIT almost disappears. And I think your point if you're gonna do it there, but I'm almost with the Black College Invitational Classic that it becomes more important and more relevant now, particularly from the fact that they at least are providing a payday. NIT will pay for the trip, but there's no payday. And then all those other tournaments that were out there, they've gone by the wayside. We'll see if any of them are able to come back. So your overall point is right there. What happens to those teams in terms of regular season champions that do not win the tournament? What's the value in that? And then do you really, for those 1B leagues, do you really now make the regular season even less important?
Yeah.
And is that a good thing for those that say that the attendance at basketball games are not there?
Yeah. And now, essentially what you've done, because your 12s and your 11s or your at-larges, if you remember previously, those 12s a lot of times were the best of the 1 bid leagues. So, like you said, Dr. Cavil, we've pushed them down to 13s and possibly 14s. Will we see more upsets on that 4-13 line now? Because you've got those better teams out those 1 bid leagues. Playing those leagues, and everything else. Could this be a unintended consequence out of this?
Yep. You're gonna be interesting to see that, particularly in this era of NIL. You're right. It's going to be interesting to see will you still have these upsets. Obviously, you had a lot of people that says those Cinderellas won't be there, and the Cinderellas will be those teams that were like 500 in the SEC or the Big Ten.
Yeah.
get it hot. Maybe they had injuries or something. Finally figured out the cohesion, maybe late because they couldn't figure it out with so many different players coming in. But it'll be interesting to see how does this figure. For the most part, I'm just saying sports are hot. A lot of people watching, so we'll see if the tide changes. But
Sonya Steels, Charles McClellan, just go ahead and have the charter ready, the charter from Atlanta and the charter from Norfolk. So as soon as whoever win that can get to Dayton, because that's where we're gonna be at for.
Or we can do the magic that we said last week when we talked about it. We solved it for them. Play your tournament early so you can start it on the Saturday and you finish on the Tuesday.
We got to have a show so I can come back and remember I talked about this 4 years ago. Years ago. Yes. I went through that, and y'all looked at me like I was crazy.
Yes, you did. Yes, I did.
And now
I see somebody else, and it hit me like a brick of stones, and now I can't let it go. I'm like, he was
y'all
brilliant.
gonna understand my genius one day.
Yeah, you're brilliant. I'll tell you now. You're brilliant. With that being, let's close and let these folks get out of here. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I am Dr. Kenyatta, the Dean of HBCU Sports, for coming inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Watson, Charles Bishop, AD Drew. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Ville's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Watson, Charles Bishop every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, 7 o'clock Eastern. We look forward to next week. Oh, man, it's coming up, Charles, a couple of months. We'll be back on Sunday morning giving you updates of trying to figure out what happened on Saturday, if not that Thursday and Friday. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil. That's DrKenyatta Cavil on Threads, Facebook, Instagram. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big. Continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Charles.
Of course.
AD.
Lecture.
Congratulations to all those graduates. Good job. Great job.
Congratulations to my baby.
Yeah.
Summa cum laude.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Big time.
Yeah. Best gift for a graduate.
A little bit on that one.
Yeah.
Best gift for a graduate this year.
Yes.
Get them a gas card.
Yeah.
I know, right?
That's real. That's real. All right.
You forgot to say dismiss.
Dismiss.